Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Stassi. Thank you so much for being here today. I am very excited to be talking today about season 5 of the Builder Games, and I have the creator here today to talk all about everything we get to every exciting bit about the 5th season of the Builder Games, which is called World Tour, and I'm so excited to dive in. So Juby, thank you so much for coming here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here to talk about it.
I'm happy to be here 5 times. 5 times. How long has the Builder Games been? 2 years now?
I
3 years.
started it in 2022. So it's
22
only been
years.
it's actually 2 years, I think probably to the day, like at least to the week,
Hmm.
because I started it in the beginning of January 2022.
Which is crazy.
So
And like
that's
look
literally wild that we're
and look how far you've
like,
come too in in those last 2 years. It's
oh, it's so weird to think about.
because are you when is your Sims anniversary?
Mine is actually, I think it's the same time of year. I'm pretty sure I'm either December or January. I don't have an actual day, so I just kind of miss it and go with it because chaos is my middle name.
Chaos. Do you at least know how many years?
Um, 2019, like it's December 2019, so 5 years now.
5 years. That's crazy.
Yeah,
Well, congratulations on 5 years.
thank you.
I'm sure it's been a crazy 5 years. I've just celebrated 3 this week, and it was like a whirlwind, like looking back, and I'm like, oh my God, like all the growth and everything that's come in the last like 3 years. Like I would have
It's
never
crazy
I
to think about because like there's so many like friendships and like
Mhm.
weird things that have gone on. It's like when I first started, I never was like, oh my God, I'll never be in a collab. And then I got invited to a collab one day and I was like, holy crap, I'm in a collab. Like, what is this? And now it's like, it's weird that this little tiny hobby has become my entire life.
Isn't
So
it
it's,
though? It's crazy. And like how many like amazing creators that you meet along the way
mhm.
that you're like you never would have like known. It's just networking all around the world. So
Oh, it totally is. It's like, I have like for example, I'm in a class this semester where we're like discussing Brazil
mhm.
and it's like a regional geography class and we have to do a research paper and I had to email my prof and be like, "Hey, if I know people in Brazil, can I like do a written interview with them?" And she was like, "Why do you know people in Brazil?"
Like,
And I was like, "Just because I just know them through video games." And she thought that was really cool. So it's kind of like it's crazy how you gain these relationships and how they like help you in other areas of your life.
oh, 100%. Or just like I'm closer to like a lot of my like Sims community than I am with my friends. And I know that sounds
Yeah,
so
exactly.
weird, but like Sims has become a good aspect of my life. And I want to talk about like, oh my God, we're finally getting fucking castles. And my girlfriend's like, and I'm like, you don't even know. But we will save the castle conversation for maybe a future call. A future call
A
coming
future.
very soon. Winky face. Well, while
Wink,
I'm
wink.
here, before we dive in and talk about the Builder games, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Juby. If you don't know, I go by Jubiesims online. Um, I kind of just create chaos in The Sims. I like to build castles. I also like to build very extravagant houses that I don't know if your Sims can live in, but I, for one, love making. So I like to think of The Sims more of like an art concept than a game some days. And that's kind of why I made the builder games, because why not have a little bit more fun than just playing a video game?
Well, exactly right. And again, congratulations on the 5th season. Let's talk about the 4th season for a little bit before we dive into the 5th. Talk to me
Hmm.
about the 4th season. Did you see like any major growth? Because it was like a tiny little season. It was like a half season. And that by half
Yeah,
season, like nobody got eliminated.
no, that was the dollhouse. So
So okay, so
basically, what
Dollhouse.
happened? Yeah, so it's kind of like it was like an inter-season type thing. So essentially, season 4 technically is the season of stories, which was
Okay.
like I think we did that back in March or February. Like it was a while ago that we did it.
Hmm.
And we got so tired after that season. And between life and whatnot, because, we have a life outside of just a video game.
Hmm.
And we were like, hey, let's take a break from this. So we decided to take a break. And then all of a sudden, in the middle of the night, I texted Lonica, the other host who helps me do absolutely everything. And I said, dude, we need to make a dollhouse. And then everybody makes a build for the dollhouse. And at the end of it, we have this big house that everyone has built together as a group. And I liked the idea because sometimes, with anything you do, you get constructive criticism. And
Hmm.
something that we often get is, well, I don't like building under a time constraint, or I don't like building with any sort of eliminations. And that is so totally fair. I also don't like it, but there are people that do. And this gives them motivation to continue building and go outside their comfort levels. And I don't know, I guess like it kind of came to me all in a dream to make this whole thing. And so the fact that we are on the fifth season and there are people who are still enjoying the fact that we have eliminations, I think that's important.
Hmm.
But with the fourth kind of interseason that we had with the dollhouse, I was like, no, I don't want like eliminations. This was like, I think we did 4 or 5 weeks.
Something
It
like
was
that, yeah.
yeah, it was fairly short. And you just got to build your favorite decades. Like it was just very, here's a shell, build me a decade challenge. And then we got to put everything together. And at the end of the day, everybody was a winner. And that's kind of how I like to see it.
Do you think that you would bring that no eliminations in to for future more future seasons of the Builder games?
I've definitely considered it because it is like realistically, I'm a people pleaser. So I
Hmm.
want everybody to be happy. And it would be nice to see everybody enjoying themselves a little bit more because there is no elimination. Um, but it's hard because as the host of it and the human who makes it, running around with 30 people each week is a little bit difficult to do. Like season 1, I think I had almost 50 builders, which was insane. Like I remember
Hmm.
having 40 odd builders and 20 judges. And I was like, "Oh, it's fine. Everything will be fine." And at the end of the day, I was corralling 60 people by myself.
Hmm. It's like herding
And I
cats.
did that exactly. And it's like we're all on different time zones. We're all at different parts in our life. We all have different things going on, right? So in a way, I like the eliminations because it actually makes it so like when you finally get down to 10 people, it's actually a little bit easier because you're dealing with less people. And I don't know, like I say that so kindly. I don't mean it in a bad way, but it is really nice when we get to the end and we're like, okay, we did it. Another season is done. We're very excited about it, but we're also like, another season is done.
That's fair. Well, I mean, as another season is done, a new season is starting because that ended the half dollhouse. I think it was like the end of September.
Yeah, that was
I think so.
I want to say it was sometime in the fall
Yeah.
because it was sometime before Christmas. I know that because we like to leave out Christmas because nobody has time during Christmas and the holidays. So we just kind of ignore that time of year.
Oh yeah, no. I was on my honeymoon and I was voting. So that's like that's the only
Yeah.
reason how I remember. It was like the end of September, early October, of
Yeah,
being
that's
like,
kind of what I remember it being.
yeah. Because Monica
Yeah.
messaged me. She's like, "Hey, you need to vote." And I'm like, "I am on my honeymoon. I will get to it
Yes.
when I
Yeah.
can." But I'm very honored to come back for a judge for the fifth time. I always love seeing the growth. But what I'm really excited about to dive into the fifth season, I see a lot of new faces
Hmm.
coming in. How does it feel to continuously keep having growth after 5 seasons?
It is so weird. So I'm a very active member of like a lot of different Twitch communities.
Hmm.
And one thing I've been noticing is that the amount of people that we have builders that are like on Twitch now is insane. We used to have, like, I know Kev, when he did the first season, he was on Twitch.
Mhm.
And I think there was a couple other people. I do not know off the top of my head. There's been so many things going on, but I do know that like this season, there's at least 5 people that I can think of that like have Twitch accounts that like I can just pop into their stream and I can see that they're building for the Builder games. And to me, that is so insane. Like I was just talking to my boyfriend about it last night when I was watching Bezo Plays, who is in the
Mhm.
games. They were building, and I was like, oh my God, Jason. I was like, come look at this. You have to see that somebody is like building this random prompt that I came up with months ago. Like, I came up with this idea when we were in season 4.
Mhm.
So I came up with all of these ideas back in probably May or June of last year. And I remember like telling them to my mom and being like, yeah, these are all my ideas I'm making. And now it's like, it's so surreal to see people like finally doing the challenges that I've been just like holding on to for so long. So it's really neat to see the community grow because I get to like see this little idea that I have just kind of light up all over the place.
Which is really exciting. Now, are there any console players?
From what I know, there is a couple, a few or a couple. It looks like I saw one on Xbox, another on PlayStation. So there are a couple console players. We do like to have console players join. I have a feeling that this year, or this time, we didn't actually have as many apply as we have in the past.
Mhm.
Because typically with console players, if we see that you're applying, we will like we everything is randomly drawn, but excuse me, we really would like console players to apply because realistically the games are more fun when we can see the talent on so many different levels. So yeah, a console would definitely be something that like if more people wanted to apply, we would definitely probably change how we do the applications because I would love to see more console players get in.
Okay. How would you change it to make it a little bit more accommodating because they can't use mod, so they can't use Tool or Red Shelf, and that is a huge part of what a lot of PC builders use.
Yeah, so the part with that is that it's hard because we've started adding allowing tool mod for a couple things because for some challenges we just have started allowing it just to allow for more creativity.
Hmm.
And it's a little hard to explain, but I guess in a way we've been getting probably 90% PC and 10% console.
Yeah.
So if I were to see a 60-40 split, a 50-50 split, I would axe Tool. Tool would not be allowed, Red Shelf would not be allowed.
Hmm.
um, I would probably go into the pool of both of them and make it an even pool of who's console and who's PC. Like I would love to do a future season of console against PC. Like
Okay.
I think that would be really really fun. But then again, we need to grow that community base a little bit more. So I think until we have that, it's going to be a little bit hard to do.
Would you, I kind of like what you said, but would you ever rank it so you're not comparing, saying, a console builder going up against a pro builder that can use Red Shelf? Would you ever say we're gonna put the console players together and you can only vote a console to console and compare it to that versus it being a console versus PC?
Yeah, so what we would probably do, like for this season, an example, like when the judges do the judging, you can't take reshade into account.
Hmm.
If Toolmod is being used, they can't actually use Toolmod as a part of their judging. Um, it's we basically just expect you to go, okay, well, did they use Toolmod? Probably, but we
Hmm.
want you to go look at the overall picture. That's
Yeah.
kind of just what we're asking. Like, we don't want you to be like, oh, you use Toolmod, so cool. I'm gonna give you all of my points
Yeah.
because that's not fair in general.
No,
So because
I can
it's going over talent, right? So we're this isn't really a talent competition. It's more of a how well can you do the prompt competition in my brain.
I gotcha.
Um, yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of complicated with console builders, but I definitely understand what you're coming from. Like I really, really, really would love to see a bigger community base from them in the future.
Yeah, I kind of hope so too. And I think we're going to see a lot more console players in the next coming years as now all the base game is free across the board. Consoles are a little bit cheaper than
Mhm.
buying a PC. So I think we're going to start seeing the next generation come through with more a console build. Now, this season is called World Travel. Obviously, it sounds to me like Amazing Race. Was that any aspects of the Amazing Race taken in to this season?
So the funny thing about The Amazing Race is back when I was coming up with this back in, so let's say winter 2021,
Mhm.
when I was kind of formulating all of these ideas, that is what started the Builder games. Because I was watching The Amazing Race and I was like, how cool would it be if we all just worked together and did the same thing and had these like cool challenges? And I was somebody who grew up watching Survivor and The Amazing Race and all the different shows. So I really liked the challenge aspect of seeing how everybody works together on the same thing, but they do it so separately.
Hmm.
Um, so The Amazing Race is actually what inspired it. And then I've been holding on to this world tour idea for ages because I was patiently waiting for the community to hopefully grow to a
Hmm.
point where I could do such a big season because this season is massive. Like, there's no shells, there's nothing. There's just prompts. And every place that you go to, there are multiple challenges that you get to pick from. So Brazil, for example, is our first stop,
Okay.
and there's three different challenges that you can do.
And
Um,
what are the three
so
different challenges?
so one of them is the Sao Paulo Art Museum. So we want them to rebuild the modern art museum. It's this big, massive building that looks like it's floating and suspended in midair, and it's like modern design.
Hmm.
So a little challenging to make. Another one was natural wonders. So you have to remake a natural wonder of Brazil. That's mainly landscaping for those who prefer a landscaping challenge. And then the third one we had was Welcome to Carnivals, which is they have to make a city street scene and a big float for like a big parade. So people who like to clutter and create, I figured that was a bit more of a cooler challenge for them.
And do you pick one out of the three or do you do all three?
You only have to pick one.
Okay.
So yeah, so it'll be Brazil is the only one where we gave three choices. Every other place that we visit has two choices.
Okay.
Um, but I decided that realistically, shells are hard, and I prefer not to do shells. Like I don't like shells myself necessarily.
Hmm.
Um, so giving somebody a prompt and this is the lot size that you have to pick. I thought that would be a more interesting way to go about it because we've never done something like this. So I'm hoping that it kind of helps with like burnout and creativity and all those kind of things this season.
I think that's really good. So Brazil is the first stop. Can I ask some more, where else are we going to go along on this world tour?
So we're going to six different places. Well, six or eight, depending on kind of how you look at it. So we're going to Brazil and South America or South Africa first.
Okay.
And then after South Africa, they actually have a choice. So depending on what you want to do, you can go to Svalbard, which is in Norway, or
Hmm.
you can go to Madrid, which is in Spain. So you go and they both have separate challenges for those areas. And then after challenge three, you go to challenge four, which we all end up back in Cairo, Egypt. Um, and then after challenge four, you split up again and you can either go to Mumbai, India, or go to Seoul, South Korea. And
Okay.
then challenge uh, six is last challenge. You go to New Zealand, which is like Wellington, and this is my favorite challenge. You have to build a house for a hobbit.
Amazing. As a Lord of the Rings
Yeah.
girl, I love it. I cannot wait to see that challenge unfolds. Now, I have a question. So it's just a very, we're gonna tour the world. So something that
Hmm.
The Sims has now started to introduce is more packs around the world. However, there's
Hmm.
no New Zealand pack. So
No.
how are you accommodating all of these builders who may not have all the packs or packs that go with this world? Like, how are you accommodating?
So what we did is we created something called the official travel guide.
Okay.
And what that is me, the geography student, took a bit of time to do a little bit of investigating about each city. So we talk about their biomes, we talk about what the neighborhoods are like. We give Simspiration pictures, so inspirational pictures of the places that these people will be building. We also heavily encourage basically going and learning about the cultures. Like
Hmm.
this is kind of more of a learning opportunity for everybody who's in it as well. Like we want you to dive deep and teach us something as the judges. Like we want to learn a little bit more about what we are building and about it. So that was one of the things. The other thing is too is that at the end of the day, the judges have to recognize that this is a game, and obviously not all the builders are going to have every single pack because it's not a requirement.
Hmm.
Like somebody could come in here and do base game builds for all of this and blow me out of the water, and I'd be like, "You're good. You can win. You're like, you're just here. You go. Here's a trophy." So yeah, that's kind of how I see it. It's like we created this little travel guide that we gave to everybody, so hopefully it can steer them in the correct direction. But also they have free game to do their own research and kind of go where they want to go.
Which is amazing. Are you going to be a builder this season, or are you just going to be a judge?
I'm actually going to be neither.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I thought about it, but I have way too much going on. So I have to move during the season.
Hmm.
So it's going to be a little bit too busy for me. So I'm kind of just moderating, answering all the questions because there's a million and one questions that happen every season. Um, but yeah, I think it'll be fun either way.
Hey, that's exciting. So, how long is this season going to be?
It's roughly 6 weeks. So there's one challenge per week. So
Okay.
one city that you go to. We did start it like and I think last week we sent out invitations. So it's been a whole
Hmm.
week now that builders have been entered in. They're allowed to start building. Um, it technically starts next week.
Okay.
So realistically, there's been 8 weeks, put it that way, but they get the first 2 weeks to build. So
Okay.
they can either start building on whatever challenges they want.
Okay. How many builders are in this season?
I think there's 30. I
Okay.
want to say 25 to 30. Yeah.
Jesus. And how many judges are there?
15 or 16,
15 or
I think.
16. Okay, wow. So
Yeah.
it's a lot. Have you seen anybody who has won previous seasons or has been in previous seasons come back for this season, or is it all new people?
There are a few people who have returned. So the way that we kind of do applications is we love when community members return and want to like apply again. We absolutely adore it. It's like it warms my heart to see that people want to keep on doing this because they find it fun.
Hmm.
We did get in like a lot of people that were new this season that really wanted to apply. So we kind of put their name into the spinny wheel of people, and then we put the other people who have been in previous seasons, we put them in a secondary spinny wheel. And then we spin a certain amount of names, and then we take another certain amount of names and spin those names. And we kind of try to mix everything together so everyone has a fair chance, but we're not
Okay.
picking too many, yeah, from like a previous season.
And how many people applied this season?
Um, I'm gonna say there was close to 50, 50 or
Okay.
60. Yeah. Yeah, there
That's
was quite a few.
that's a lot. That's a lot of people. Any returning judges?
Most of the judges are returning from what I know.
Okay.
There's at least a handful, I want to say close to 10 that are either, if they're not a returning judge, they're at least somebody who's played in the games previously.
Okay. Because I know
So we
Disney's,
often don't, yeah, Disney Sims,
yeah,
she's
she's
here.
back. She's back,
Um,
yeah.
and then Kev is also a judge, so he's season one winner. He's also played in um, the Dollhouse event. Who else can I think of? That one green leaf is there. Um, 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 I don't know things off the top of my head unless I have a list in front of me. So, but a lot of the returning judges from the previous seasons are going to be there, which is really nice to see that people want to keep coming out and doing the same thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so I got a couple more questions for you, and I'm gonna wrap up. If you could describe this season in one word, what would it be?
Exciting.
Oh,
Just, yeah, because it's exciting to see, like, from my point of view, it's exciting to see people being excited about something. But it's also from what I kind of have gathered from just the vibe of everything is people are just really excited to be a part of it, which is exciting.
which is good. And any final anything that you want to share about this season, upcoming season?
I think mainly that I think same as past seasons, a lot of it is going to be broadcasted on Instagram, so that's the
Mhm.
easiest place to see it. We've already started sharing all of the stories that have all of our contestants and a bit about them on each story. And then the other thing is too is in our Instagram bio, you can actually join our Discord. And Discord is where everything happens. So you can see the scores, you can see the entries, you can hang out and talk to people. Like it's kind of the hub where everything happens. Um, in future years, if this keeps going, I'd love to be able to do like a Twitch stream every week of streaming the builds kind of thing. But
Mhm.
that's more of like a future project. But for now, everything's in Discord or on Instagram, and you can find us there.
Is there also going to be a community vote this time as well?
There will be no community votes. That was kind of it was a touchy subject for a few people. So we've decided just to get rid of it
Okay.
because if we had too many people voting each week for the same person would just continue to win. And there was, between Monica and myself, no way to regulate it.
Okay.
So if there's no way to regulate it, there's no point doing it, in my opinion, because it's not fair to other people.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. Well,
Yeah.
GB, thank you so much for coming here today and talking about the Builder games. The Builder games are on now. Please stay tuned every week for the next 6 weeks to, you know, watch all these amazing builders get played. If you have any questions about this season, please reach out to Juby. Please reach out to me as well. Also, please know I am a judge. Um, I don't pick favorites, even if you are my friends. I don't pick favorites, and I might be able to answer some questions, but I'm pretty useless. So please reach out to Julie or Lonica if you guys have questions or comments or concerns. They're gonna be able to. These amazing ladies are gonna be able to help you. I just pick fives and fours because I everything I see is amazing. So I'm like, yes, so creative, so amazing. Because even with the dollhouse, like it was Alex's I think it was 90s bedroom. He put the Powerpuff Girls, and I remember this fucking
Yes.
yes. I literally screamed. I was like, as a girl, who was a Powerpuff Girl fan. Shocker. It was just so cool to see, and I'm very excited to see this round, as every season has been different, but this one I'm really excited about to see the different types of cultures, and not only that, I get to learn more about each culture. So very, very excited for this season. Juby, again, very excited to go on to get the season going. Where can we find you?
You can find the Builder Games at TS4 Builder Games at Instagram and Twitter. And then if you have any questions, you can always reach me at Jubiesims. And then Lonica as well, who hosts and does so much work. I owe her my life. She is like I am the chaos, she is the calm. So she does a lot of the organizing, reminders, all those types of things. You can find her at cozy_simmer on Instagram and Twitter as well.
Amazing. Please go check out the Builder games. Please go check out Cookie. Oh my God, not Cookie, Lonica. And please go check out Juvie. Um, again, thank you so much for coming here today and sharing everything about season 5. I can't wait to catch up with you at the end of the season so we can see how the season plays out. But again, please go
Yeah.
check out the Builder games. They will be out every single week. And Have a great rest of your day, everyone. Bye.